Former Free State Human Settlements MEC Mosebenzi Zwane has told the Zondo Commission he was not actively involved in the billion-rand housing project in the Free State. Zwane says he was made to believe the contractor database used was legit. Other former provincial officials have accused Zwane of pushing for advance payments. Well, my colleague, that's eNCA reporter Manqoba Mchunu, has been watching proceedings this morning. He's joining us now in the studio at this lunchtime news. Manqoba, overall, what did Mosebenzi Zwane say? What were the key things that came out for you in this morning's testimony at the Commission?
Well, but then he has simply passed the buck, as you've alluded to in that intro, shifting the blame totally to officials in the Housing Department, who he says it was their idea and advised that they should rather go for the database and abandon that tender process. Of course, that was an illegal decision, but then according to the PFMA and according to the Housing Act as well, which stipulates that a tender process or procurement process has to be followed. You do know that, of course, following that, there was an advance payment of 500 million that was made for a housing project that didn't even materialize. So those are some of the issues that kind of clouded this sort of project. But he says that it was not at all stopped. The tender process was not stopped because of him, but it was actually the officials, especially the HOD as the accounting officer, who had the responsibility and whose advice it is that this process...
So he, as the MEC, believes he has no accountability?
Well, as the MEC, he's saying that it is those officials who advised, and because he was a newcomer in that department, he believed them and took their word. Let's take a listen to what he had to say about this project.
It is them that suggested, Chair.
Through the officials?
The officials that throughout the years, the database has been used in the department by my predecessors. And as a newcomer there, I agreed with that process for as long as it was going to help us move forward building houses.
Yes, but here, Mr. Zwane, this is a new database. It's being created after a tender process has been abandoned. Correct?
Yes, Chair.
It's being populated at the discretion of officials, although guidelines have been given to you by Cabinet. Correct?
That's correct, Chair.
No formal tender process, therefore, would precede the granting of a contract to any particular contractor on the database. Correct?
That's correct, Chair.
That is unlawful. Were you never aware of that?
No, I was not aware of it. As I've said earlier on, I was told that this has been the process that has been followed. I even asked, based on what is it, a PFMA process? They told me it's a process under Housing Act.
All about process, all about database, but when it comes to responsibility, what came out?
Well, he's not taking any responsibility, and he says that it is these officials, especially the HOD, that is responsible. He has fiducial duties to ensure that proper procurement processes are followed and that he simply did not do his job. So he's saying that he should not be blamed for this because the accounting officer should have done his job and he simply trusted him to do that job. He also pointed fingers at the EXCO, the provincial EXCO, for why that database included some of the contractors that were there. We do know that some of them had links to the Free State Premier Esma Khashule at the time, but he says that the provincial ESCO had taken a decision that new categories should be included in the process of tendering, which included the youth, women, and people with disabilities. So he simply passed the buck on all scores, saying that it was not him. In fact, those officials are responsible. Let's take a listen to what he had to say, specifically when he was asked whether or not he was accountable.
Under your watch, Mr. Zwane, 1.4 billion rand was allocated for the construction of low-cost housing. Correct?
That is correct, Chair.
I would imagine that wherever the execution of particular tasks lay, that as MEC you would be accountable for the lawful expenditure of that money, let alone the efficient and successful expenditure of that money. Correct?
My duty, according to the law, Chair, was to receive reports in terms of the expenditure of that money. The accounting officer will be responsible for the management of the finances of the department in an effective and efficient manner, and any unauthorized expenditure, he had all the right to actually stop or allow it. If he allows it, in fact, the law says when there is any instruction given, even by the authority, that has financial implications, that instruction should be given in writing, and the accounting officer, if he or she does not agree with that decision, must in writing advise the authority that that decision can actually have the unauthorized issues. If the executive persuade or instruct further that this decision, a lawful decision, should be done, that should be reported by the accounting officer to National Treasury, Provincial Treasury if we are in the province, and the Office of Auditor General, to ensure that he covers himself. Those, according to law, are the powers given to the accounting officer.
You know, Manqoba, just listen to that again. It's according to the law, he says. But in practice, we know that those charged with political oversight of departments, like cabinet ministers at the national level, MECs at the provincial level, as in this case that is now in front of the Zondo Commission, they have political muscle and weight to influence certain things. But he's saying, I did nothing wrong here. It's those officials who did something wrong, just really passing the buck. So what should we expect next? What's happening next now? Is he still on the stand?
Well, he's expected to continue, but then he will now be quizzed about that 500 million payment that was made to two companies. So that's just started on that. And of course, after break, we do expect more details. And of course, we can pretty much predict that he's going to deny this too.
Just going to carry on like that. Thank you very much, Manqoba Mchunu. Of course, he has to go back now and continue to listen in to more testimony by Mosebenzi Zwane at the Zondo Commission of Inquiry into State Capture in relation to this particular matter of a R1 billion housing project in the Free State. And so far, Mosebenzi Zwane says, it's not me who is at fault, it's the officials passing the buck